Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Did you know before last year, the Waynesburg University softball, the last time they held a pack title was in 1993? That was the year Ariana Grande was born. Bill Clinton was president of the United States. Sears was a thing, and gas only costed $1.11 a gallon. So where are we now? Well, let's see. Since 2005, the Lady Yellow Jackets have had 268 wins and another pack title. Things got worse before they got better. However, the time is now.
The South Hills of Pittsburgh. Wilson, 1-2 pitch. And what a changeup there from Sydney Wilson.
Sophomore Sydney Wilson, the defending pack pitcher of the year, is continuing her dominant campaign. With a 13-4 record and a 1.43 ERA, the lowest ERA in the entire President's Athletic Conference, good luck getting anything across home plate with her there. Freshman Autumn Stemple, Thunder's her nickname, and oh boy has she just been thunderous all year. With a 9-3 overall record and a 2.03 ERA, and most impressively the 94 strikeouts and 77 2/3 innings of work, that's third most in the entire PAC, so good luck getting any hits across her. 15 times this season, the Yellow Jackets have had 7+ run games with their offense, with the team averaging a .333 batting average and the second most runs batted in the entire PAC. Good luck stopping them. Now for Allegheny, with a 14-4 conference record, this team is rightfully up there as one of the best in the PAC. They currently sit second in the PAC rankings and sitting a game back of Westminster, who resides in first place. So why am I here telling you all this? Well, you're about to jump into a tank full of sharks. Wouldn't you want to be one? Well, without further ado, let's get you out to the diamond, where the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets are set to face off against the Allegheny Gators, what's supposed to be a great matchup of two powerhouses.
I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
The following is a presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
For the first time in history, we are proud to present on the Waynesburg University Sports Network Waynesburg softball at the baseball and softball complex. Hi everyone, I'm Austin Bexel alongside Carter Newcomb. Great to be along with you, Carter. First time there's been a volleyball game this year on the Waynesburg University Sports Network in the fall semester. Now, this is the first occasion for softball. We're great to be here, and it's a big matchup for Waynesburg. The Yellow Jackets have already clinched a spot in the PAC playoffs, but a lot still to play for in conference standings.
Yeah, they have the opportunity to be the first overall seed and host PAC playoffs here, the Waynesburg University baseball and softball complex. So a lot to play for, especially trying to defend their PAC title a year ago.
It's the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets and the Allegheny Gators. Allegheny at 24-8 overall, 14-4 in PAC play. First year in the PAC for Allegheny. Waynesburg at 23-7 overall, 12-4 in the PAC. Sending ace Sydney Wilson to the mound with the first pitch. Ball one. Wilson, a left-hander, 13-4 on the year and 107 1/3 innings in the pitching circle. 78 hits allowed, 85 strikeouts and 21 walks. Facing off against Allegheny. Bouncer over to Sidney Sine at third off the bat of Bellardinelli. Alea Bellardinelli, the pitcher opposite of Wilson for Allegheny. First batter of the game grounds out to third. Up next, Cameron Long, then Sophia Godzak, Sophia Gennario. 1, 2, 3, 4 as Wilson's first pitch of the at-bat in there for a called strike. Samantha Phillips, Olivia DeVries, Hadley Herensky, Isabel Wakefield, and Hallie Book. The starting 9 for Allegheny. Wilson's next pitch. Called a ball, now 1-1. Long at .377 batting average on the year with 6 home runs, which is third in the PAC entering play today. Wilson's third pitch. Called a ball, now 2-1.
Yeah, it's a way to get the retire the first batter as Long, as you just mentioned, a power hitter for the Gators.
The 2-1. Lined off the glove of Bliss. Deflects past Higgins as well. So Cameron Long gets on base with an infield hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this going to be our first, we don't have Bobby Fox alongside of us today announcing this game, so we have to make our own calls on hits and errors. So I think that one goes down as a hit in our book.
It does go down as a hit. So a 1-out single for Cameron Long. Sophia Godzak, the designated player, steps in, who leads the team in RBIs with 24, tied with Long. Wilson's first delivery is fouled off to the right and out of play. Godzak at .431 on the season. Tops on the team in batting average, runs scored, as well as hits with 44, and also 13 walks on the year. A 1 count. Wilson delivers. Cut and a miss. Godzak now down in the count. 0-2. Sydney Wilson, a 1.43 ERA in the pitching circle entering today. 14 complete games and 15 starts. Ahead of the count, 0-2. The pitch to Godzak is taken high for a ball. 1-2 count with Long on at first base. Starting catcher for Allegheny with an infield single. Godzak, the third batter of the inning. The 1-2 from Wilson's fouled off. And it hit Gennario, the batter on deck, in the on-deck circle. Quick check on her, seems to be okay. So we'll do it again on a 1-2 count. Alyssa Rader does the catching for Waynesburg. And the delivery from Wilson to the plate, a called strike. And down on strikes goes Godzak looking. 2 gone in the inning, and it brings up Gennario.
Yeah, Sydney Wilson, one of the best in the PAC in terms of strikeouts. She comes into this one with 85. That was her 85. That'll be her 86th of the year.
Gennario swings and fouls off the first pitch off to the right. As Sydney Wilson was able to deliver that 86 strikeout, Carter, compared to 21 total walks on the season. Alyssa Rager, the catcher, with Sine at third, Grattan at short, Grace Higgins at second, Emma Bliss at first base, Damaski, Hunter, Trimble left to right in the outfield for Sydney Wilson. Ahead in the count, 0-1. Next pitch, cut and a miss. Throw down to second base on the stolen base. A try off the bag comes Long, and now they got her in a rundown. Throw over to Sine. Back and forth they go as Long tries to advance, and they're going to get her in between second and third base. As Long, a little bit slow to get up in between second and third, as Waynesburg was able to record the final out. Sydney Wilson is also on the ground after a collision as well. There was a collision, right? Sydney Wilson collided with Cameron Long.
Yeah, it was just an odd play as Long overran the bag at second, overslid it, and forced to try to advance to third and got caught in the rundown here before that collision with Sydney Wilson. Just hope that both players are all right.
And Wilson is still being looked at by the training staff. You want to take a break? As the inning did come to a close. Autumn Stemple is warming up just in case, right near the Waynesburg dugout, as Wilson is still being looked at. Waynesburg players all surrounding her as well after the collision between Sydney Wilson and Cameron Long. As Long trying to advance to third after getting in a rundown, looked like she fell on Sydney Wilson, and Wilson is now able to get up with a little bit of assistance and try to walk it off as we have reached the end of the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom half of the inning No score between Allegheny and Waynesburg here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stopped Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
Back here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network as Aaliyah Bellardinelli takes the mound for Allegheny. 99 2/3 innings on the year. A 221 earned run average, 79 hits allowed, 123 strikeouts, and a record rather impressive at 14-1.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, her way is the strikeout. Coming into this one, she's used that to her advantage. She has nearly over 40 more strikeouts than Sydney Wilson, as electric as she's been on the year. And we made a big note about 100 strikeouts last year for Sydney Wilson. You look at Aaliyah Bellinardi, nearly 100 innings pitched. As you see Sydney Wilson there walking on screen there, trying to loosen up that leg. But yeah, Bellardinelli, 14-1, record as you just mentioned. But with her first out, it'll be her complete 100 innings on the year and well over a strikeout an inning.
She faces Bryn Hunter to lead it off, the center fielder today for the Yellow Jackets. Does a lot of the catching and takes the first pitch high for a called strike. Bryn Hunter at 455 on the year, the all-time hits leader in Waynesburg history. He's played all 30 games this season, 24 runs batted in. Bats lead off today and swings at the second pitch, skies it into center field. Corralling it is Horensky to record the first out. So the batting order for the Yellow Jackets after Hunter: Grace Higgins bats second, Ella Brookman, Alyssa Rager, who does the catching today, Sydney Sine, Emma Bliss bats sixth, Cassidy Trimble bats seventh, Jasmine Damaski bats eighth, Kayla Grattan ninth. Sydney Wilson on the mound, the designated player today. Now into the box, Grace Higgins tries to bunt at the first pitch and pops it right up to the catcher Long. So the last two pitches have been out. As Hunter flew out to center, Higgins pops out to the catcher. Two quick outs now, Ella Brookman to the plate.
Yeah, 2 outs on 3 pitches. It's a good recipe for success if you're Bellardinelli.
Ella Brookman, a team leading 25 RBIs on the year, a .418 hitter. Takes the first pitch high for a called strike. Brookman, like Bryn Hunter, has played all 30 games for Waynesburg, the only 2 players to do so this year. Today, the 31st game of the year for the Yellow Jackets. Next pitch, taken for a ball. 1-1 count on Ella Brookman. Waynesburg 9-3 at home this season. 8-2 on the road. So a little bit better record on the road, losses-wise, and 12-4 in the PAC as the 1-1's taken high. Now 2-1 to Brookman.
Well, interesting note with that, Austin, is this Allegheny team is 6-0 on the road, so they've yet to lose one when they have to hop on the bus and head south.
Allegheny new to the conference, but so far as the next pitch is fouled off to the right, it's gone pretty well in a lot of sports for the Gators. Really competitive throughout in its first season back in the PAC, and right now Allegheny is situated in second place in the conference at 14-4. Waynesburg at 12-4. Big matchup today. Next pitch is taken high to Brookman. Count now full at 3-2.
Yeah, other than, I would say, football, they've had pretty good success in just about every sport.
Bellardinelli set in the circle, the 3-2 home. High fly ball deep into right field, backtrack wall, and it's off the very top of the wall. Brookman into second base, she's looking for more. Ella Brookman into third with a stand-up triple.
That ball was tailing out towards us out here in right field, and I was signaling that for to be gone all the way. It looked like it was going to be no doubt, but it just hung up there in the atmosphere and fell down. It could not have been. You couldn't have hit the ball farther in the ballpark without it going out.
It was off almost the very top of the orange line of the outfield wall. So it brings up Alyssa Rager, 316 batter on the year. 7 RBI, looking to try to bring Brookman in for an early lead. First pitch is in there for a strike. Bellardinelli, who surpassed over 100 innings here in the bottom half of the first. Brookman on at third after the 2-out triple. The 0-1 pitch to Rager. Cut and a miss. Now down in the count 0-2. And a high strikeout total for Bellardinelli as well. Got Hunter to fly out, Higgins to pop up. Down the count 0-2. The delivery to Rager. Fouls it off. Just got a piece to chop it to the backstop.
That was just the 20th extra base hit allowed by Bellardinelli on the entire year. She's makes it that she's allowed now 5 triples, 5 home runs, and 10 doubles. So it doesn't give up a lot of extra base hits.
No score. Bottom half of the first inning. Waynesburg threatening. The 0-2 home to Rager. Swings and pops it up into foul territory and just foul down the third baseline. And we'll do it again. Defensively for Allegheny, Long does the catching. DeVries at third, Book at short, Wakefield at second. Gennario over at first with Blar, Herensky, and Phillips left to right in the outfield. Another 0-2 home. Rager takes high, called a ball, now 1-2. Fourth batter in the order for the Yellow Jackets. Sydney Sine would bat next if the inning continues. No score with Brookman on at third. The 1-2. Swing and hit to short. Fielded by Book. Thrower to first and safe as Rager is able to beat it out. Brookman scores. Infield hit for Alyssa Rager and a 1-0 lead for Waynesburg.
You got to believe it's going to be a key run in this ball game with these 2 stud pitchers that each team boasts. I mean, we don't know the health condition of Sydney Wilson, if she's going to back on the mound or not. But regardless, you know that runs are going to be at a premium this afternoon, and it's a way to get one early for Waynesburg.
Here's Sydney Sine. 5th batter in the order for the Yellow Jackets. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. There is nobody warming up in the Waynesburg bullpen. You would think that if anybody would potentially warm up, it would be Autumn Stemple, who has been used as the second pitcher primarily for the Yellow Jackets. 1-0 count now. The pitch to Sine, cut and a miss. Long checked over at first base as Rager took a little bit of a far lead. A couple more steps off the bag than usual after the pitch was delivered. So now 1-1 count to Sydney Sine. The pitch fouled back.
Well, another thing, too, of note for Waynesburg, even if Stemple has to come in, it's not like, you know, there's much of a drop-off between her and Sydney Wilson. Her ERA is just 2.16 coming in, which is 4th best in the PAC. So regardless of that situation, they have someone who could pitch.
The dynamic duo for the Yellow Jackets that has been powerful against PAC opponents this year. 1-2 home to Sine. Cut and a miss, and the inning comes to an end. But the Yellow Jackets are able to score. Ella Brookman's triple off the very top of the right field wall helped to bring Alyssa Rager to the plate, who singled her in to give the Yellow Jackets a 1-0 lead as we go to the top of the second on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
You're watching WCTV, where we aim to bring you the best local coverage of what you care about most. Everything from local businesses to hometown sports and the latest weather. We're keeping up to date with what you need to know about issues that affect our campus and our community. We're telling the stories that matter, celebrating our past, our future, and our potential. So tune in for all the latest buzz right here on WCTV Channel 14, Waynesburg.
Back to the pitching circle after a little bit of a scare, a collision with Cameron Long in between second and third base. Long was caught in a rundown, and Wilson and Long collided. But Wilson is back out there on the mound after the collision. They were looking at the right leg ankle area. Don't want to speculate exactly where it was for Wilson, but seems to be okay enough to be able to continue in this game.
Yeah, with her being left-handed as well, it's better that it's on the right leg because she's not pushing off of that leg. She's more landing on it instead of generating her power for velocity. So if there was a choice of one you're gonna bang up, it would not be the left one, it'd be the right one, which is the one there that she got tied up on.
Sophia Gennario back to the plate. First pitch from Wilson, a ball outside. She was at the plate when Long was caught stealing and the collision occurred, so gets the bat again here in the top half of the second inning. Gennario, Phillips, DeVries to bat for Allegheny, and second pitch is fouled off. Ends up hitting Gennario, and a 1-1 count now. Gennario, a .413 batting average, 79 total bases leads the team, .725 slugging percentage as well. Next pitch from Wilson, cut and a miss. 1-2 count now. Sydney Wilson, 1.43 ERA coming into today. Next delivery, swung on and missed, and retired. Gennario back to the dugout, one gone in the top of the second. Samantha Phillips, the right fielder, steps in the right-handed batter's box. .420 average, a home run, and 20 RBIs on the year. First pitch from Wilson. In there for a called strike.
Austin, she was a Mount Lebanon Blue Devil.
The Mount Lebanon Blue Devils of 6A in the WPIAL. Grounds this one right back to Sydney Wilson. Takes a couple steps, throws on over to Bliss at first, and safe.
Yeah, Bliss dropped it.
Bliss could not corral it, and what looked like was going to be an easy play for the Yellow Jackets. Phillips is on after the error.
Yeah, that's going to be an E3. It was a very catchable ball over at first base. Bliss just got to come up with that.
Olivia DeVries bats. DeVries at .347 on the year, 17 RBIs. Everyone in the Allegheny batting order, other than Hallie Book, who will bat ninth, has double-digit RBIs to their name. Here's the 0-1 pitch, fouled off. Now, DeVries down in the count, 0-2. Today's third baseman, another right-handed batter for Allegheny. Not a ton of lefties against the lefty Sydney Wilson, which I would imagine how difficult it is for right-handers to be able to hit her. Even more difficult for the lefties as Wilson delivers down in the turf. For a ball, now 1-2.
Now here's a question. I mean, I've never gotten to play fast pitch softball, obviously. So I wonder how much of that makes a difference, lefty on lefty as it does in baseball. I don't know with the hand delivery if it affects it much.
1-2 pitch, grounded foul. Up the third baseline. And we'll do it again. Yeah, you really think that it potentially could be a factor, but you're not getting maybe the same slider, curveball type of action left on left as you might be getting, but still a unique challenge in its own right.
Oh, for sure. It's just you wonder with the arm slot.
Wilson's pitch, off speed, high, and taken for a ball. Looked close. Count now 2-2. With the runner on at first, Phillips, after the error on Emma Bliss. Next pitch, cut and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Sydney Wilson. Hadley Herensky will come to the plate with 2 outs and 1 on.
Away from Sydney Wilson to battle back. That should have been necessarily the third out had the error not happened on the Samantha Phillips grounder back to her. But, 2 strikeouts now in the inning, and she had a strikeout prior to that pass pitch, now a pass ball.
And I think a wild pitch is what's being ruled on the delivery from Wilson with Rager doing the catching. So it moves Moose Phillips up to second base. The 1-0 in the turf. 2-0 the count to Hadley Herensky. 244 batting average, 15 RBIs rather, no home runs. Bottom third of the order for Allegheny, not as high batting average as the other portions. It's the ground ball to third. Sine picks it up on over to first base in time to be able to record the third out of the inning, and Herensky back to the dugout. One left on for Allegheny as no one reaches home plate. And we go to the bottom half of the second inning, 1-0 Waynesburg. Back here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network, bottom of the second inning. Emma Bliss, Cassidy Trimble, and Jasmine Damaski. 6, 7, 8 in the Waynesburg batting order will come to the plate against Aaliyah Ballardinelli. Right-hander delivering against lefty batting Emma Bliss. Cutting fouls it back. Bliss at 119 on the year in 42 at-bats. Has driven in 3 runs. Waynesburg's first baseman today. Yellow Jackets 12-4 in PAC play. Tied for third in the conference. A pop-up in the infield. Second baseman Wakefield is there to record the first out.
Yeah, Waynesburg hasn't really, with the exception of Ella Brookman's hit, has not really barreled up a softball. It's the first time I did it today, Austin. It's going to happen at some point. But
well, I said the mound like 2 seconds onto the air, so.
Yeah, but they haven't really had any, success barreling up the ball.
Here's Cassidy Trimble, swings at the first pitch, and right through the legs of Book. It's short. And Cassidy Trimble is on, thanks to the E6.
Yeah, there's not going to be any discussion about that one.
Looks like it went right underneath of Book's glove and also through the legs.
5-hole.
Was not able to get the glove all the way down to be able to corral it. So now the infield corners play in on Jasmine Damaski, the Waynesburg left fielder. First pitch way high, goes to the backstop, and Trimble, after reaching on the error, goes up to second on the wild pitch. The corners were in, maybe thinking that Damaski would attempt to bunt. As Gennario is way up the line, first base side. Middle infielders even with the bag. Next pitch is fouled back. 1-1 count now on Jasmine Damaski. Waynesburg's leader in home runs with 4. 403 batting average, 17 RBIs for the 8-hole hitter. Kayla Gratton, the shortstop, will be next. 1 out, bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 lead for Waynesburg. Pitch home is in the turf again, and it gets past the catcher Long. Will be a pass ball on Long. So how about Cassidy Trimble's last couple of strides through the base pass? Reaches on an error, goes to second on a wild pitch, now with third on a pass ball, and a 2-1 count with 1 out, bottom half of the second inning. Ballardinelli delivers home to Damaski. And Damaski takes a called strike, now 2-2.
Yeah, each team with 2 errors at this point in time. Back in the first inning, it appeared that Cameron Long got a base hit. They actually ruled that an error, Austin. So we had a difference between our book and theirs.
Tomaski, strike 3, cut and a miss. Now 2 gone for Kayla Grattan.
So we resolved that one.
First pitch to Grattan, way high and inside. With Trimble on at third base. Second time the Yellow Jackets have had a runner on third after Brookman tripled. Delivery home is fouled back. Now 1-1 to Kayla Grattan. 5 runs batted in this year. Would turn to the top of the order if Grattan is able to reach. Bardinelli has allowed 1 run so far. The pitch home is skied into the center of the infield, and safe is Grattan. So once again, Waynesburg able to use its speed on the base pass to be able to beat out a little bit of a weak ball there, that it was a little floater right near second base that dropped, no one could grab, and Grattan on with an infield hit to be able to score Cassidy Trimble. It's 2-0 Waynesburg.
Yeah, it looked like it just went off the end of the bat and just kind of floated up in the air, and second baseman Wakefield just not able to get over there in time. It's a tough play going to her backhand, and the wheels of Grattan beat it out.
First pitch, a ball. 1-0 the count to Bryn Hunter. 24 RBIs for Hunter on the year. Flew out to center her first time up. Bats here in the bottom half of the second inning. The pitch from Bardinelli is ruled a ball. Rather a strike, so now 1-1. With Grattan on at first. 1-1 home. Hunter hits a high fly ball deep to left, but way foul. It hits the gravel on the other side of the fence. So our setup here for the first ever Waynesburg softball production on the Waynesburg University Sports Network is out in right field. Next pitch to Hunter is fouled back. We are situated pretty much, if you would draw a line from where the second baseman is, straight back in the outfield. That is where we are situated on a bench. We're not really sure what camera we're waving to, but just wave, and there's Spencer Fratteri up there, home field camera. As a 1-2 count to Bryn Hunter, bottom half of the second and 2 outs is outside.
Interesting note, Bryn Hunter does not have a home run this year. Definitely due, I've heard, a lot of well-hit softballs out into the outfield, but nothing has left the ballpark yet.
The 2-2, swing and a miss as Hunter goes down on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Bardinelli. And Waynesburg able to bring another run home. It's 2-0 Yellow Jackets as we go to the top of the third on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. Top of the third inning at the Waynesburg University Baseball and Softball Complex. Yellow Jackets lead it 2-0 against Allegheny. I'm Austin Bechtold alongside Carter Newcomb and our incredible crew for the first ever Waynesburg softball production on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. And we're proud to be able to present it to you on a gorgeous day, the week before finals for Waynesburg students. First pitch is fouled off to the right and out of play into the stands by Isabel Wakefield. A .339 batter on the year with a home run and 15 RBIs for the Allegheny second baseman. Leads off the top of the third. Eighth batter in the order. Wakefield, Book, and then Bellardinelli will come to the plate. 8-9-1. Next pitch from Wilson, a ball. Now 1-1. Wilson with 3 strikeouts so far. Was able to shake off a collision with Cameron Long the end of the top of the first. Next pitch is grounded and off the glove of the diving attempt from Grattan. And on with a single is Isabel Wakefield.
Yeah, it's a shot up the middle, and Grattan not able to beat the ball to a spot and just couldn't get her glove to it.
Here's Book. She bunts it right to Wilson, throw over to first base, and the sacrifice is successful. It goes 1-4 to the covering Grace Higgins. Moves Wakefield up to second base. For the top of the order, Analia Bellardinelli, who grounded out the third her first time up to lead off the ball game. The only left-handed batter for Allegheny. Looks at the first pitch for ball one. Sydney Wilson got through the order, only allowing the one hit to Wakefield after the swing from Long was ruled an error in the first inning. Next pitch, a ball. 2-0. Also included 3 strikeouts, 1 looking. Wilson's next pitch. Swung on and off the glove of Sine, able to corral it, throw on over to first base to get the out. Moving up to third is Wakefield, but the ball gets away from everybody and in the foul territory in left field. So Wakefield is able to come around to score the first run of the game for Allegheny. So the out was recorded at first. Bliss tried to throw it back to Sine at third, but way over Sine's head, trickled into foul territory in left, and Allegheny now on the board.
Yeah, and that's a close play at first, and Bliss, that's her third error of the contest. Had one in the first, one in the second, now one in the third.
1-0 now on Cameron Long. Now 2-0. The 1-0 low from Wilson. Long reached on an error and was caught stealing in that collision with Wilson. Everybody seems to be okay, though. Next pitch in there for a strike. 2-1 now with 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Allegheny was able to get a run to come across. Now 2-1, Waynesburg leads it. Yellow Jackets have scored in each inning. Allegheny on the board for the first time, and a cut and a foul ball off of the swing of Long. It deflected off of Rager to the backstop. Count even now at 2-2. Long bats with the bases empty. Lefty Wilson delivers. Pitch outside. Count now full. And a couple tough breaks for the Yellow Jackets defensively. As a run comes across against Wilson on a couple of errors. A sacrifice bunt also in there, and a called strike 3 on the 3-2 pitch as Cameron Long is retired looking. Well, let's go to the bottom half of the third inning after Allegheny got a run to come across home plate. The lead for the Yellow Jackets cut in half. It's 2-1 on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. Back here in the bottom of the third inning, after Sydney Wilson was able to punch out Cameron Long looking. Fourth strikeout for Wilson. Second time an Allegheny batter has gone down looking. Yellow Jackets with a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the third. Blardinelli back on the mound. Third inning of work. As Grace Higgins steps into the box. Higgins popped out to the catcher Long in the first. The sophomore at 388 on the year. 2 home runs and 10 RBIs for Higgins. Blardinelli's first pitch. In there, inside half for a called strike. Waynesburg clinched a spot in the PAC playoffs in its last doubleheader series against St. Vincent. Higgins lines one left side of the infield and able to beat it out for a base hit. Grace Higgins is on just a perfectly placed ball out of the reach of Book.
Well, she bunted. She tried to at least try to bunt back in the first inning, and so DeVries is up and playing bunt defense. Had she been playing back, probably would have made a routine play, but because she was moved up so far, there was basically no play as it was over her head.
Corners are in again as Ella Brookman is up to the plate and fouls it off. Right side, giving chase is Gennario, but out of play.
Nice little scoop over there by Takeover Visions. Foul territory, Austin.
Chris Barish.
Friend of the program.
0-1 count to Brookman. Infield corners playing way in. Here's the delivery. Called a ball. Inside, now 1-1. Brookman tripled in the first. Came around to score after Rager singled for the first run of the game. Next delivery is fouled off once again and skied out of play. Off the very top of the screen in foul territory, out by the road, right next to the Waynesburg University softball complex, baseball complex as well. 1-2 count now on Ella Brookman. Blardinelli's pitch. Brookman, high fly ball deep in the left field, but right into the glove of Blar for the first out. The catcher, Alyssa Rager, now up. Fourth batter in the Waynesburg order today. Bats with 1 out and 1 on. Higgins at first. Infield corner still playing in. Middle infielders about even with the bag. First pitch is fouled off. Looked like a hit and run for Waynesburg as Higgins also took off on the pitch.
Yeah, Higgins has got some speed. Plays in the middle infield and steals a lot of bases. He's 15 of 15 coming in, stealing bases.
The 0-1, fouled off to the left. Way inside, near the hands of Rager. Now down in the count 0-2 with 1 out in the bottom half of the third inning. 2-1 lead for the Yellow Jackets. And there's been 5 errors in the game, more errors than hits. 4 hits, 3 by Yellow Jackets, 1 for Allegheny. The 0-2 way high. Higgins takes off for second base and is in there as the ball trickles into center field. Higgins with a stolen base.
16 for 16.
Can't get much better than that. As Grace is on in scoring position. And the count now 1-2 on Rager.
Well, that takes away a chance at a double play here, and base hit should score Higgins.
Blardinelli delivers. Ground ball right to third. DeVries throws on over to first. Records the out. Higgins does move up to third. Rager grounds out. Brings up Sidney Sine with 2 gone. And for the 3rd straight inning, a runner on in scoring position for the Yellow Jackets with 2 outs.
Each of the 2 previous times an infield hit did it. So looking for another one here.
Sine struck out her first time. First pitch, taken inside for a strike. Sine, a .290 hitter. Went to Cannon McMillan High School, a junior. Right-handed batter. 0-1 pitch, fouled back. Bellardinelli, a sophomore from Melbourne, Florida.
A little bit warmer down there.
Where the weather is warm, the sun is always shining. The ball's way inside. Almost hit Sine as well. Count now 1-2.
We've seen her throw a lot of pitches inside this inning, especially to the top middle of this order for Waynesburg. See if she goes there again.
With Higgins on at third base, the 1-2 delivery to Sine is grounded foul up the first base side.
A change in locations there. She's been working inside on this at bat and then changes, it goes to the outside.
So we'll do it again on the 1-2 pitch from Bellardinelli. Delivers home to Sidney Sine, who hits a long fly ball deep in the left field, and it goes way foul. If it stayed fair, would have been extra bases for Sidney Sine. But a long foul ball. We'll do it again on the 1-2 pitch again. Bellardinelli set in the circle and delivers home. Sine pops it up deep in the left field in foul territory, giving chase, but out of the reach of Blar out on the left. So after another foul ball, Sine staying alive in the count.
Yeah, she's done a great job of battling right now against, the best pitcher in the PAC in terms of strikeouts in Bellardinelli. She's had no 2 count for a while here, staying alive.
Here's the pitch. And again, Sine just gets enough of it to foul it out of play. Landed behind home plate, a little bit off to the right side.
Yeah, back there towards our camera back there, we have two fine gentlemen playing the field out there, Benicio DeFalco and Daniel Rogers, Danny Dimes up there.
We got Alex Hughes running the home plate camera back in center field. Joe Venzel on at first. Here's the pitch. Sine takes low. Count now 2-2 after multiple foul balls from Sine. A long at bat. 2-2. Sine, high fly ball deep in the left field. Backtracking on it is Blar and makes the catch. So a good at-bat from Sidney Sine, but results in the final out of the inning as Waynesburg gets a hit and for the first time does not score a run after scoring in the first 2 innings. And it remains 2-1 Yellow Jackets.
welcome you back. Top of the 4th inning here. The Waynesburg University Baseball Softball Complex. Up for Allegheny is Sophia Godzak, the designated player. Facing Sydney Wilson for the second time. Takes ball 1. Godzak struck out looking back in the first on a 1-2 count. Now trying to barrel one up and put it in play. Wilson's 0-1 pitch. Bounce towards third. Sine stumbles, makes the throw over to first. Bliss records the first out of the inning on a 5-3 ground out.
Good play there from Sydney Sine. Knew she had a little bit of time to be able to corral it, pick it properly, throw on over to Bliss. First out of the inning, always critical.
Sine has recorded a 5-3 ground out in each of the first 3 innings, make it the 4th as well. Wilson into Gennaro. Takes ball 1.
And to be able to just, for Wilson, attack the zone. Get hitters out quickly. Waynesburg's done damage with 2 outs, but always critical to get those first couple and limit the amount of traffic on the base pass.
Gennaro takes. Makes it 2-0. Make it 3-0. Skips that one in there, so 3-0 count for Gennaro. Wilson struggling to locate this at bat. Gennaro also a member of the Allegheny women's basketball team. Me and Spencer Terry got the opportunity to announce that game earlier on this season. So, a dual sport athlete for the Allegheny Gators. Wilson's pitch swung on and cut to third. Sine across the diamond once again, another 5-3 ground out for the second out of the inning.
Now batting for Allegheny, number 7, Samantha Phillips.
Samantha Phillips will step in. Reached back in the second inning on a, check my notes here, she was ultimately thrown out at second.
Ended up reaching on an error by Emma Bliss at first base, and then wild pitch after that.
One 1-0 count, Wilson, left-hander. That one low and away for ball 2.
We got 4 more batters till she comes up. No. Yeah, she probably won't come up. She probably won't be up till the 5th.
Here's the 2-0 from Wilson. Swung on and knuckled, and it'll spin out foul. A lot of backspin on that ball.
And you never really know what type of bounces you're going to get on this turf, on this surface. There have been a lot of different ways that the ball has spun over the past couple of weeks that we've seen, that you always got to be able to play it, because you never know if that ball is going to potentially roll up the line and go fair, just with the way that the surface can sometimes play.
2-1 pitch, just low. Count will go to 3-1 to Samantha Phillips. The right fielder, a Mount Lebanon Blue Devil. That one chopped up the middle. Wilson extends out, makes the play, and retires the side. 1-2-3, and halfway through the 4th inning, Waynesburg leads Allegheny 2-1.
We're gonna fade up to camera 3 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take it.
We welcome you back. Bottom of the 4th inning upcoming, and Austin's going to run you down here through the President's Athletic Conference softball standings for 2023.
It's a log jam at the top, Carter. Westminster is 13-3 in PAC play. Allegheny, first season, has done fantastic at 14-4. And then two teams tied for third, Waynesburg and St. Vincent, both at 12-4. This is the final series for Allegheny in conference play. Waynesburg will face Westminster this weekend coming up, which is a critical series to determine who potentially could win the conference on Senior Day. Coming up on Saturday, two games beginning at 1 o'clock. And that is also a rematch of the PAC Championship last year when the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets were crowned 2022 PAC champions.
Bliss will lead things off for Waynesburg in this frame. And we mentioned last year, Waynesburg did beat Westminster up at Westminster College. They are in control of their own destiny. If they're able to win both today and on Saturday, they should host the playoffs the next weekend, trying to go back-to-back with back-to-back wins of the President's Athletic Conference Championship. 2-0 the count to Emma Bliss. Called strike. Count goes to 2-1. Bliss popped up to second in her at bat back in the second inning. Here's the 2-1. Off-speed pitch. Called a ball, 3-1. Bliss has struggled defensively in this one, has 3 errors, but trying to make up with it with the bat. Left-handed bat against the right-handed Bellardinelli. 3-1 count. Ball swung on, hit up high in the air down the left field line, ranging over. Catch is not going to be made over there by the shortstop, Book. Tough play, but she gave it quite the effort.
Yeah, a very long run for Book to try to get that ball as it was in between her and Blar, who was out on the left. And just about a step out of her reach.
Count full at 3-2. Bliss in the box. Bellinardi the pitcher. Ball 4, low and away, and Waynesburg's got a base runner to lead things off here on their side of the 4th inning.
Leadoff walks have a tendency to come back to bite against the opposing pitcher, and Emma Bliss able to get on base for the Yellow Jackets, and overall this season only her 3rd walk.
Well, that's the first walk we've had all day. So we mentioned the pitching coming into this one. That was the first free pass issued by either starter. Ball 1 to Tremble. Just on the inside part of the plate. Tremble, the right fielder, scored back in the second. Reached on an error by the shortstop. Advanced to second on a wild pitch. Reached third on a passed ball. Now she swings and hits this one into left center field gap. Ranging back there and making the catch was Blar. Bliss will stay at first. Yeah, but Tremble reached and advanced to third on 3 errors essentially by Allegheny, and then scored on the RBI from Kayla Gratton. But she flies out to left, and with 1 out comes Jasmine Damas, the Waynesburg left fielder, trying to look to advance the runner Bliss.
Yeah, it has a lot of power to be able to do so, and pretty much the same way that the infield is played for a majority of this game with the corners in as she shows bunt.
I was just going to say she also has a lot of speed, so would not be surprised if she lays down a bunt. It looked like Allegheny was aware of the situation. They had the corners up. DeVries and Gennaro, 0-1 count to Damaski, excuse me. That one up high. Ball 1. Damaski, the 1-1 count, struck out back in the second inning. See Sydney Wilson trying to stay loose here in between innings. Not batting for Waynesburg. The designated player for her is Ella Brookman. 1-1 pitch to Damaski. Called strike 2. Damaski, the speedster, but also has a lot of power in the bat. Swing cut on and missed, and a strikeout for Bellardinelli, and the second out recorded here in the bottom of the fourth.
Big swing from Damaski. Trying to catch up to the heat.
Did not look like a two-strike swing.
No, definitely a swing for the fences approach.
Brings up Kayla Gratton, had an RBI single back in the second. Takes strike one. Gratton, a graduate of Gateway High School, Monroeville, Pennsylvania. A former Gator taking on the Allegheny Gators this afternoon. Takes ball one upstairs. Count goes even at 1-1. Bellardinelli looking to get out of this inning unscathed after the walk to start it to Bliss. Fires in there. Just out, or another, I call it a strike. A little bit of delayed call there, but count will go to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, bottom of the fourth, 2-1 the score, Waynesburg over Allegheny. Bliss at first, Gratton the batter, Bellardinelli the pitcher. That one sliced foul. Count will remain at 1-2.
Couple good at-bats from Kayla Gratton. Was able to single in the second. Another good approach here at the plate, as Waynesburg basically has had runners on the entire game. Base runner has reached in all 4 innings.
Gratton lines that one foul. Count will stay the same, 1-2. And Bellardinelli has had base runners all afternoon, but has done pretty well to limit Waynesburg to just 2 runs. It's definitely limited the damage by the Jacket Bats. The 1-2 forthcoming. Off-speed pitch, called a ball. Count will go to 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. Gratton swings and lines it into left field. It'll be a base hit. Bliss will stay at second, and Gratton's 2 for 2 with 2 singles this afternoon.
Great at-bats, you get paid off for it, and Gratton just putting a good swing on the ball. Was able to pull.
It's ready as Hunter steps back in. Counts 0-1. That one swung on by Hunter. Out to left field. It's going back. Drops right before the fence. Higgins to third. Hunter to second. Higgins coming home. No contest. And history's made for Britt. 143.
Brent Hunter, as you just saw, all-time hits leader in Waynesburg softball history. 0 for 2 today, but comes into this one for Waynesburg with 45 hits on the season and 99 previous at-bats, so looking for hit number 46 this year. Came into this one batting .455. And Waynesburg is going to make a change. They have a pinch runner for Bliss. It's going to be Dylan Roberts. Roberts, the sophomore from Sellersburg, Indiana, Henryville High School. 2 on for Brent Hunter. Cut on, foul down the left field line. Out into the parking lot and up against the gravel piles adjacent to the Waynesburg University baseball softball complex.
And Hunter from McGuffey has been very consistent for this team, just a solid force in the lineup.
Takes ball 1. Bounces across the teal and purple laces for suicide awareness worn by Brent Hunter this afternoon. It's Angels in the outfield day. Hunter, cut on, hit high and deep to left field. Ranging back is Blar at the wall, makes the catch. And a long third out. What a play. And we're through 4. Allegheny trails Waynesburg 2-1 here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
You're watching WCTV, where we aim to bring you the best local coverage of what you care about most. Everything from local businesses to hometown sports and the latest weather. We're keeping up to date with what you need to know about issues that affect our campus and our community. We're telling the stories that matter, celebrating our past, our future, and our potential. So tune in for all the latest buzz right here on WCTV Channel 14, Waynesburg.
Top of the 5th inning here coming up. Waynesburg leads Allegheny 2-1. And due up for the Gators will be Olivia DeVries, the third baseman, Hadley Herensky, the center fielder, and Isabella Wakefield, the second baseman, the 6, 7, 8 batters in the lineup for Allegheny. Trying to erase the deficit here and tie this one up or even take the lead. Allegheny, just like Waynesburg, trying to host the PAC playoffs coming up shortly.
And Emma Bliss re-enters at first base as well after Roberts pinch ran for her.
So Wilson back on the rubber. First pitch from DeVries, cut on and right back to Wilson. And one pitch, one out. It's another 1-3 ground out to start things off in the 5th inning.
Doesn't get that much easier than that. We saw at one point, though, an error on Bliss as she was not able to grab it. But that right back to Wilson. Simple play. One pitch, one out is always a great way to start an inning.
Here's Hadley Herensky, the center fielder, grounded out to third back in the 2nd inning. Takes ball 1 low. Herensky went to Seat LaSalle Catholic High School, resident of Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania, junior. Takes strike 1.
It's right by my neck of the woods in Baldwin, right next to us.
So in the Mon Valley?
Baldwin is not technically the Mon Valley. TJ is.
I just had to ask.
You know, it raises a good question. If Baldwin's not the Mon Valley, I wonder if our producer, Tyler Zeman, knows what is it. I think it's just considered Baldwin Whitehall. As he agrees.
Count goes to 3-1 as Tyler in our ear telling us that Baldwin is not the Mon Valley, even though I've heard him say otherwise at one point, that he's from the Mon Valley. So for those of you who don't know, a little bit of an inside joke within the department if Baldwin's part of the Mon Valley or not. But 3-1 pitch from Wilson, fouled off. Count going full. See Chris Barish take over Visions on Instagram, getting some work in, taking some photos. Full count from Herensky, grounded over to third, and Sine gets her quota of a 5-3 ground out for the 5th straight inning.
A lot of work over there for Sydney Sine and has been able to field everything pretty cleanly, throw on over to Bliss, and that has been pretty routine the last couple of plays for the Yellow Jackets. In the last couple of innings, dating back to the 3rd, that's the 4th time there's been a ground out to third base.
Wakefield takes strike 1. Wilson not wasting any time. Wakefield was not interested in the fastball over the middle, but this one, she slices into right field to be a base hit. She had to hustle in, though, to the first because the right fielder, Tremble, was there, and that ball was hit hard right to her, so almost a forced play at first, but a base hit stops the streak there of batters retired by Sydney Wilson.
Trimble got there on just one hop, and the ball got on her quick, and just a good play to be able to get to it, and could have been one potential out there as that one's lined over to first base, but foul.
Yeah, Bliss made a diving effort at it to try to see if she can catch it on the fly, but play went foul. Hallie Book, shortstop. 1-0-1 count. It'll go even to 1-1. Had to do some gymnastics to avoid that one, so count goes to 1-1. Wilson. That one upstairs as well. We'll go to 2-1 now. Wilson now with a runner on for the first time since back in the third inning. She went 1, 2, 3 in the fourth and retired the first two here in the top of the fifth. Called a ball, 3-1. Pitch was dropped by the catcher, Rager. So hitters count for Book. Runner on first is Wakefield. This one hit down the first base line, and the backspin of the softball will make it go foul. It was going to be a difficult play, so wisely Bliss was able to pull off on that one and let it simmer foul. Wilson a little bit dinged up apparently. A little limp as she heads back to the circle. Full count. That one down the right field line and foul. Count will stay full at 3-2. Yeah, Wilson had that injury, been back in the first inning, and you wonder how long some adrenaline's going to work with that. Typically when an injury like that occurs, you're able to get through it. 3-2 pitch, called strike 3. She may be hurting. She's even causing more pain to the Allegheny Bats. Gets through 5. And we're through 5 here, or midway through 5, excuse me. Allegheny trails Waynesburg 2-1. You look here at that last strikeout from Sydney Wilson to retire Hallie Book. Wilson's 5th strikeout of the afternoon, and able to keep Allegheny off the scoreboard once again. Leading off for Waynesburg will be Grace Higgins. First pitch cut on, hit high and deep to left field. Going back, and it's out of here. Grace Higgins, a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 5th. And Waynesburg takes a 3-1 lead. First pitch swinging, no hesitation.
Great swing from Higgins to be able to loft that one out to left field in a great spot. Had plenty of distance. Higgins' 3rd home run on the year.
And now Ella Brookman, who back in the first inning hit one to the very top of the fence. A prime candidate for Waynesburg to get back-to-back jacks. She had a triple and she flew out to left field, both on balls that she hit very hard. Takes ball 1 upstairs. Bellardinelli has allowed now just 6 home runs on the year. See Higgins just sits on it and gives it a whack deep into left field over the head of Blair and over the wall. Gives Waynesburg a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 5th. Brookman takes, and it's 3-0. We'll see if she even lifts the bat off her shoulders here with a 3-0 count. Bellardinelli's pitch. Called strike one. Hitters count for Ella Brookman. Probably see a big swing here if she likes the pitch. 3-1 count. Ball four. And Brookman aboard. And Waynesburg's got a runner on the base paths following the home run from Higgins.
Yeah, that was a big insurance run from Higgins to be able to get a run back for Sydney Wilson, who had the collision in the first inning. Looks like she's been laboring a little bit in the circle at times. And just to be able to get that swing and get another run on the board, definitely important for the Yellow Jackets.
Rager looks at strike one. Rager in her third at-bat has a single and a ground out to third. Single back in the first did give Waynesburg its first run of the contest. This one swung on, line to third, and it's caught, and Waynesburg is going to get doubled up. Brookman was moving. That's going to be a 5-3 double play. DeVries to Gennario, and almost nothing Waynesburg could do about it.
Line out right to DeVries. Very quick play, and just tough for Brookman to be able to get back. Was running on contact. Looked like she could have been at third if it got past the third baseman.
Yeah, it looks like Brookman, you're always taught to freeze on a line drive, but had been thinking about if that ball gets by the third baseman, DeVries, she might score. DeVries able to vacuum that one up and get the double play as Sine fouls one down the left field line. Quite the break there for Allegheny, as it looked like Waynesburg might have a chance here, a big inning with the leadoff home run from Higgins, and then Brookman got walked. And Rager had a ball that she squared up just right to the defense. Sine takes a strike as we 0-2. Looked like Brookman might have they probably at the very better minimum would have been able to get to third, and Rager would have had probably a single or a double, could have had two runners on with nobody out instead. No one on with two outs. Sine takes ball one. Sine has struck out, and she flew out to left field. This one up the middle. Tough play for the second baseman to make, but she makes it. Wakefield and Waynesburg quickly, after the leadoff home run from Higgins, gets out of the inning, just allowing one run on one hit.
Piracy is a crime. If you see someone downloading copyrighted material without paying for it, then you should inform the authorities immediately. If you download any copyrighted material from the internet without paying for it, then you should go to jail.
Welcome you back. We'll take a look at the Grace Higgins leadoff home run in the bottom of the fifth inning, which gave Waynesburg a 3-1 lead. Higgins just explodes on that pitch and hits one high and deep to left field, making it a 3-1 ball game. Waynesburg trying to hold on and win game one of this doubleheader. Sorry, correction here. Here's the home run from Higgins. See, got a good pitch to hit and took advantage of it. Hit one high and deep to left field and made it a 3-1 ball game. Now, first pitch to Bellardinelli. Fouls it off. Leadoff batter. 1-2-3 due up for Allegheny. That's Bellardinelli, Long, and Godzak. The pitcher, catcher, and the designated player. They trail by 2 runs here with 6 outs left in regulation. Bellardinelli chops one to Gratton at short. 6-3 Gratton. ground out for the first out of the 6th inning.
And this is a prime position for Allegheny to try to get runners on base with the heart of the order due to potentially come up if able to do so. And Long and Godzak have been some of the most productive players as well.
Pitch called a strike to Long. Just doing some math here for you real fast. Only 3 hits in the contest for the Gators. An 0-2 now, the count quickly to Long. 6 home runs on the year, as mentioned earlier by Austin, but she's in the 0-2 hole. 6 home runs, good enough for 3rd in the PAC. That one, it's going to hit her right in the back, right in the square in the number 3. And navy blue and white on her back, and that will give Allegheny a base runner here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially 0-2 pitch, to be able to have that pitch get away from Sydney Wilson and put a runner on for Godzak. Tough play there, but just ran into Long. He was reached on an error and now a hit by pitch a couple of times untraditionally on base.
Could be a turning point in this contest. Wilson pitch ball, so it'll be 1-0 to Godzak, who 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. But yeah, had 0-2 to the 2-hitter and 1 out. Could have gotten 2 outs. Now has Godzak swing at that one, but could have had 2 outs and nobody on for the 3-hitter Godzak, who's hitting .431, but now with a runner on, could make this more interesting. 1 swing of the bat, we could be tied. Wilson. Pitch called strike. This count goes to 1-2. I'm not going to call this a jam for Wilson, but the base paths have not been overly occupied. And a key moment in this game. Pitch, defensive swing there from Godzak. Count will remain the same as, Allegheny running out of outs, and this one has the middle of the lineup up for probably the last time. So crucial at-bats here for Godzak and Gennario coming up. The 1-2, cut on and missed. Wilson rings her up, and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Big out there for Wilson to be able to retire Godzak. A good pitch, too. A little bit outside. And for Godzak to be able to potentially, I think, just foul tip it into the glove of Rager. Not 2 out.
1-0, 2 out to Sophia Gennario. First baseman has struck out and grounded out the 3rd. Called strike 2. Or excuse me, strike 1. Looked at the wrong box on the score sheet there, Austin. 1-1 pitch from Wilson. Tanner kicks, fires, and Gennario waves. It'll be 1-2.
And again, getting ahead of the hitters for Sydney Wilson has been critical, especially in being able to punch out batters.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled off into the away bullpen. Count stay at 1-2. 3-1. Waynesburg leads. Runner on first is Long. On the mound, Wilson. In the batter's box, Gennario. Strike 3, and Waynesburg gets out of the inning once again. Halfway through the inning number 6, Waynesburg leads 3-1. take a look here at Sydney Wilson's 6th and 7th strikeouts to get herself out of the top half of the 6th inning, striking out the 3 and 4 batters for the Gators, Sophia Godzak and Sophia Gennario. And Waynesburg, halfway through 6, boasts a 3-1 lead, trying to add a few insurance runs for Sydney Wilson here before she tries to go back out there and get her 15th complete game.
Well, if your name is Sophia, you have not had a good day against Sydney Wilson. Godzak with 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third. Gennario, 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third.
Bliss will lead it off for Waynesburg in the bottom of the 6th. Takes strike 1, so count will be in favor of the pitcher, Bellardinelli. The 0-1. Bliss into center field, ranging in on it. Tough play, but it'll be made by Herensky. 1 away. Cassidy Tremble will step up. Try to give Waynesburg a base runner, batting in the 7th spot, the right fielder. Parkersburg, West Virginia, Parkersburg South High School. The batter with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Tremble, first pitch to the third baseman across the diamond. DeVries makes the play. 2 away quickly for Waynesburg. Waynesburg, 5 hits for 3 runs, and for Allegheny, 1 run on 2 hits. 3 errors for Waynesburg, 2 for Allegheny, so not necessarily a clean ball game, but a defensive one at that. It's been a pitcher's duel. Damaski, 2 strikeouts in her previous 2 at-bats, fouls off the first pitch she sees. Damaski, a freshman, Jefferson Morgan High School. Against Bellardinelli. Pitch cut on, hit to right center field. It's going to get over the head in the glove of the center fielder Herensky, and Damaski quickly around second, and she's into third with a triple, and she's fired up.
Jasmine Damaski, you mentioned she had speed. She was a lightning rod around the bases, running at full force. What speed from Damaski, quickly rounding the bags, in a great spot too in right center to be able to reach third base.
Yeah, Herensky trying to range back to grab it, but just over her glove, couldn't get there. They call her the Tasmanian Devil from the Looney Tunes, for good reason there, as mentioned to us in our ear from Darian Allensworth. Going to give him a quick shout out. He knows the softball team in and out. Got to take the trip with them down to Myrtle Beach during spring break. Scranton into the box. Fouls off, strike 1. Grattan has 2 singles today, so an ideal bat at this point, as Waynesburg trying to get an insurance run, and they will. Grattan in the right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Damaski will walk home, and it's 4-1 Yellow Jackets.
It's been a great day at the plate for Kayla Grattan. 3 for 3, all singles. This one bringing in a run. And to be able to bring up Bryn Hunter in the top of the order, Waynesburg just looking to try to add on with only one more chance for Allegheny to come to the plate.
Hunter, the center fielder, typically does a lot of the catching for Waynesburg, but ranging out in center field today, doesn't offer it. Ball 1. She's 0 for 3 today, a strikeout and 2 flyouts, 1 to left, 1 to center. Waynesburg's all-time hits leader, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast, looking for her first one today. That one fouled off. Of course, with 2 outs here, if she's able to reach base and Grattan's able to avoid running into an out on the base paths, I have Grace Higgins up on deck for Waynesburg, who homered back in the 5th. 1-1. Hunter fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2.
It's been a good day all around for Waynesburg after some errors early on in the game. Really cleaned up defensively. A couple more insurance runs in the latter half of the game.
Called strike 3. Hunter did not swing, but gets rung up anyways. We're through 6. Waynesburg leads 4-1 on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stopped Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
Here we go, top of the 7th inning, 4-1 Waynesburg leads it as Sydney Wilson looks for her 15th complete game on the year and win number 14 as the Yellow Jackets left-handed starting pitcher will face off against Samantha Phillips, Olivia DeVries, and Hadley Horensky. As on screen right now, you see the triple from Jasmine Damaski using her speed to make it all the way to third base. Come around to score on the single from Kayla Grattan to give us our 4-1 score, with the Yellow Jackets looking to try to end game 1 with a victory. Sydney Wilson's first pitch skips to the backstop.
Just to go back and mention that triple from Damaski, as I'm watching the ball just sail over the glove of Horensky, I immediately turned my head to see where Damaski was on the base path. She was already around at second as the ball was landing, so she got on her horse quickly there, and she knew she had a chance at extra bases as soon as that one was off the bat.
1-0 count against Phillips. And takes a called strike. Only the 3rd time that Phillips has come to the plate. Reached on an error in the 2nd and was thrown out by Wilson to first in the 4th. Allegheny with only 2 hits on the day. Wilson's delivery taken high. Now 1-2. Wakefield singled and scored the only run of the ballgame for Allegheny. Was on base twice. 1-2 is taken high, now 2-2. Top of the 7th inning. Wilson looking to try to close out game 1. Allegheny at 14-4 in the conference. Waynesburg at 12-4. Next pitch is high. Now full at 3-2. It's a big game, big series for conference standings. As the Yellow Jackets, the defending PAC champions, did not go into the PAC playoffs as the number 1 seed. 3-2 pitch, bounce past the glove of Wilson, picked up by Grattan. Throw to first base in time to be able to retire Phillips. 1 gone in the 7th.
How about the day Kayla Grattan's having today? 3 hits, 2 of them for RBIs, and that's a tough play at short and to get the first all-important out in the top of the 7th. So, been sturdy in the field today and been a pleasure at the dish for Waynesburg as well.
So here's Olivia DeVries, 0 for 2 today. Wilson's first pitch, breaking ball, cut and a miss for strike 1. Wilson looking to try to shut the door. For the Yellow Jackets, 31st game of the season. On a great day, nearing the end of April. Wilson, 0-1, that's high. Now 1-1. DeVries struck out in the 2nd. Grounded back to Wilson in the 5th. Bats here on the top of the 7th with 1 out. Nobody on. The pitch. Ground ball to Grattan again. Clean scoop and throw over to first base. 2 gone for Allegheny in the 7th. Last chance is Hadley Horensky with 2 gone. Horensky grounded to third twice. Once in the 2nd, once in the 5th. As Waynesburg leads it 4-1 against Allegheny in the first ever softball production on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. Sydney Wilson at the pitching circle delivers a called strike. Horensky, a .244 batter on the year. As Allegheny looks for some 2-out magic down by 3 runs. Wilson's pitch, a cut and a miss. 0-2. Waynesburg looking to advance to 13-4 in conference play and get ever so much closer to Westminster at the top of the standings. The 0-2 from Wilson. Ground ball to Bliss right at the bag, and the game comes to an end as the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets win it 4-1. The first ever broadcast of Waynesburg softball on the Waynesburg University Sports Network in the books. Stingham has the W.
And a great one at that, a big one and late in the year. Waynesburg needs it to advance. They're positioning in the standings, and they get it done in game 1. But it's been a pleasure working with you here, Austin, on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
It was great working with you as well, Carter.
This'll
as
do it.
Sydney Wilson was able to get through a 1-2-3 inning. We weren't sure if we were going to get any more WUSN productions after basketball. It was the senior send-off, but to find out that the week before finals, we were able to get one more in the books. And the first softball production, softball program that has been tremendous. The PAC champs last year, and a very solid shot to be able to do so once again this year. We want to thank everybody that was able to make this broadcast possible. Jeremiah Miller, our executive producer, and our producer, the incoming executive producer, Tyler Zeman, as well. For everybody running cameras, Joe Venzel, Alex Hughes, Spencer Terry, and everyone inside the production truck that was able to make this thing happen to close it out on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. For Carter Newcomb and our fantastic crew, I'm Austin Bexel saying so long from the Waynesburg University Baseball and Softball Complex with your final score. Waynesburg wins it 4-1 against Allegheny. You've been watching a presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
This has been a presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network.